The streetlights glimmer dimly through the fog. I feel the final presence of the slug. The traffic noise is waning to a hush, anticipating nothing in the rush. The autumn mist is resting on the pane. I feel the winding down begin again. It's that hollow sigh, a chilling simple plea, the vacant feeling that consumes just me, leaving the laughter and the friendly calm, finally watching everything fall. I turn the keyhole onto this empty shell, the final story that I cannot tell. The lock is turning, a decisive sound. No other presence can be ever found. The tension returns beneath the yellow glow, the single place where I am forced to grow. That profound homebound sigh, a sound of bitter fate, the isolated space I must tolerate. Unburdened now by all the simple show, embracing where I have to truly go. No need for shelter, nowhere else to hide, just simple emptiness remaining inside. A quiet sorrow, deep and still. That homebound sigh is every doubt I keep, the lonely promise that I hold in sleep. I am delivered to this fading gray, wishing for the break of day. Blank page waits upon the simple desk, a lonely challenge utterly grotesque. I sharpen pencils one by one with care, ignoring all the burdens of despair. I try to focus on the simple task, the quiet question that I must not. This new routine starts now, unnecessary wall, preventing the complete and total fall. I follow orders, simple, strict and few, waiting for something I can cling on to. The silence in the hallway is so deep, that I have to keep. I check the list confirming every item, trying to find the logic to invite them. I feel the weight of countless empty hours, ignoring all the fading distant flowers. This lonely stale routine is my new that will never bend. I follow shadows where they lead and go, watching the heavy minutes slowly flow. I feel the need for something that is real, the simple comfort that I used to feel, a slow surrender to the quiet truth. This new routine starts now, a lonely solemn vow, the final promise I am making now. I close the book and face the vacancy, finding the sorrow hidden in between. I lock the memory and turn the key, leaving the frantic motion far from me. A welcome silence in this humble sphere, finally letting go of every fear. The air grows heavy, weighted by the fall. I feel the empty space encompassing all. This is the lonely hour, moments seem to freeze, the deepest sorrow carried on the breeze. No voice to comfort, no familiar face to see, just simple quiet when I try to speak. Rising pale and looking stark, illuminating secrets in the dark. A subtle tremor running through the floor, wishing for things that can't exist anymore. The internal noise begins to disappear, a fragile hope that never feels so clear. This quiet, desolate hour, a burden I must bear, reflecting all the fragments of despair. A desolate moment of escape and pain, waiting for the sunlight and the pouring rain. A little sanctuary built on shifting sand, the perfect hollow I cannot command. I watch the starlight softly blink and weep. This quiet hour is all that's left behind, the missing pieces I will never find. I hold the broken promise in my sight, standing here alone within the deepest night. The week's frantic pace left shallow scars. I wake to muted light behind the bars. The duvet traps a faint residual warmth, protecting me against the coming storm. No obligations beckon from the phone. I face this heavy silence all alone. It's the Sunday morning haze, a veil drawn on the sun, wishing all the difficult phases were done. This quiet prison where the hours slow, watching shadows come and softly go. I watch the dust motes dancing in the beam, a fragile, solitary, vivid dream. The coffee's to fully comprehend. My thoughts are circling heavy and subdued, a lonely and unsettling interlude. This heavy morning haze, a quiet vacancy, a silent canvas where nothing can convene. I surrender slowly to the muted light, just waiting for the ending of the night. I feel the weight of countless untold weeks, the answer in the stillness that it speaks, a slow retreat from everything I knew. This haunting morning haze remains the truth, the single remnant of my fading youth. I close my eyes and let the feeling stay, hoping the silence takes the gloom away. I chose the exit where the signs were small, avoiding the loud and frantic social call. The path went slowly through the silent trees, carried by nothing but the evening breeze. I feel the stillness growing deep inside, a quiet sorrow I can finally hide. It's the long way home tonight, the circuitous route, accepting sadness as a bitter fruit. I drive unhurried toward the distant light, escaping the clamor of the lonely night. The radio is softly playing low, a single melody I barely know. I turn the volume down to almost none, wishing the final journey was now done. I feel the shadows lengthen on the dash, remembering the sudden silent smash. This long and winding path, a lonely, fragile grace, the only truth I can observe and chase. I let the distance stretch and softly grow, following where the faded memories go. The faint impression of the things I knew, the quiet longing I am passing through, a subtle comfort, deep and truly sad. This long way home is all I have today, watching the single moment fade away. I park the car and breathe the cold air in, hoping the quiet healing can begin. Darkness breaks within and silver lines, the final shadow quietly declines. The room is cold, the air is sharp and thin, a brand new sorrow I must now begin. I watch the colors softly start to shift, a momentary, fragile, painful gift. This first light feeling coffee tastes like nothing but the grave. Wishing the fragile promise would not stay. I moved the curtain slightly to the side, watching the distant, crowded world outside. I feel the future stretching wide and far. A single question of just who we are. This bleak morning feeling, a burden I embrace. A single moment of a fleeting grace. I try to hold the sadness close and deep, the lonely promise that the morning keeps. Quiet hope is fading in the haze, recalling whispers from forgotten days. A gentle tremor running through the pain. This first light feeling remains with me all day, until the final colors fade away. I close the window and turn the lamp down low, letting the solitary feeling grow. The autumn chill sifts through the windowsill. The vacant room remains completely still. The daylight wanes, losing its fiery hue, wishing for moments fresh and new. I trace the lines the passing light has drawn, just waiting quietly until a slow dissolve to gray, the colors start to weep. The only secret that the season keeps. This weary sight across the evening crawls, reflected sadly on the painted walls. The wind outside is sighing low and deep. Another lonely promise I must keep. The final leaf relinquishes its hold. A future waiting, quiet and so cold. I feel the subtle shift beneath my feet, a melancholy feeling, bittersweet. This gradual decay to ash and dust, a fragile truth in which I put my trust. This endless moment is designed for me, alone within this vast simplicity. This slow surrender to the coming frost, a simple moment of everything that's lost. I see the shadows sleeping on the ground without a single soul around. I choose the exit where the cars diverge, a silent promise that I must emerge. The highway's hum is fading to a drone, leaving the hurried world completely alone. Fragile effort to resist the plight. I drive unguided on a vacant track, hoping the peace I seek will soon come back. The asphalt surface stretches pale and long, hearing the echo of a broken song. I grip the leather cold against my palm, wishing for safety from the distant harm. I feel the distance growing deep and wide, the single place where I can truly hide. This quiet vacant row where tensions fade away, the only chance to see a brighter day. I let the wheels decide which way to turn, a simple lesson that I had to learn. I feel the distance pulling at my core, a quiet longing I experienced before, a gentle sad departure from the noise. This lonely road less stressed is where I roam, searching for a silent gentle home. I watch the minutes disappear and fly, alone beneath the melancholy sky. Painted lines are rushing past my sight, illuminating shadows in the night. The engine sighs a steady, simple sound. No other comfort can be quickly found. I watch the numbers blurring into one, a silent journey that has just begun. The mile marker lullaby, a rhythm slow and deep, the empty promises I try to keep. I let the motion rock me into rest, putting my deepest sorrow to the test. The gaslight flickers soft and looking pale, the only comfort that will surely fail. I drive on forward toward the coming frost, remembering the people that I lost. I feel the miles increasing on the dial, the lonely path I walk for a long while. This vacant marker lullaby, a subtle quiet tune, a simple longing beneath the lonely moon. I try to fight the weariness and sleep, the silent secrets that the darkness keeps. The only friend is the soft, gentle gleam, living entirely within a fading dream. A final stop sign looming in the black. This mile marker lullaby is all I hear, drown in the silence with a single fear. I reach the ending of the vacant track, wishing for the past to soon come back. The chill of late October is profound, the only comfort that can now be found. The brittle leaves are scattered on the ground, a final sorrow without a single sound. I search the branches for a spark of green, remembering a fragile, hopeful scene. It was an October kind of love, so brief and yet so deep, a lonely promise that I couldn't keep. I watched the colors slowly start to drain, waiting for the silence and the pouring rain. The muted sunlight offers no relief, just deepening the feeling of the grief. I walk the path we used to walk before, anticipating nothing at the door. I feel the tension underneath the sky, asking the simple question, truly why? This fragile October kind of hope, a gentle fading plea, the only thing that truly mattered to me. I try to catch the feelings as they fly beneath the shadows of a lonely sky. The air is sharp, a whisper of the frost, counting the precious things that have been lost. A quiet longing deep and so extreme. This October kind of ache will soon be gone, but the faint echo lingers on and on. I let the season take the sorrow now, accepting the promise of a simple The little book is resting on the chair. The scent of dust and silence fills the air. The spine is broken, well loved and so old. A simple story that remains untold. I smooth the corners of the paper white, searching for shelter in the fading light. Just worn out pages marked by countless tears, recalling whispers from forgotten years. I try to read the script that I once penned, waiting for the bitter memory to mend. The margin notes are faded to a gray, remembering words I didn't get to say. I close the cover with a gentle hand, the only comfort left within the land. I feel the weight of countless promises, a gentle tremor running through the breeze. These brittle pages yellow by the sun, the lonely moments when the fight was done. I try to memorize the final word, a muted echo that remains unheard. A soft surrender to the quiet truth, the final memory of my fading youth. A slow goodbye, profound and yet so mild. These worn out pages offer no reply, just me beneath the lonely empty sky. I put the remnants gently back in place, accepting the final solemn grace. The ceramic mug rests cold upon the shelf, a silent relic of my former self. The steam has vanished, leaving just the stain, recalling moments of old joy and pain. I search the memory for fragments of your voice, a lonely option though I have no choice. The coffee cup conversation remains unheard, the bitter comfort of a single word. I try to piece the dialogue back again, holding the ghost within the falling rain. I trace the handle worn and slightly chipped, the final memories I have safely clipped. The kitchen's hollow, echoing and vast, the only present built upon the past. I sense your shadow standing near the door, wishing I didn't crave you anymore. This phantom conversation is all that's left, the painful knowledge of being truly bereft. I try to mend the fragments of the day, watching the fragile beauty slip away. Of sorrow lingering on my tongue, the empty promise of a song unsung, a final moment of silent regret. The This coffee cup conversation ends here, drowning the silence with a single tear. I put the remnants gently back in place, leaving the past with final quiet grace. The itinerary is utterly blank. No further effort left inside the tank. I face the stillness of the vacant room, surrounded wholly by the silent gloom. I search for solace in the empty space, seeking a faint, familiar grace. An unscripted day without a single line, the painful freedom that is truly mine. I float unmoored on a desolate gray sea, just letting every heavy burden be. Outside is tapping on the pane, reminding me of seasons of old rain. The calendar displays a future void, a quiet longing I have long avoided. I feel the tremor deep within my core, wishing for something I experienced before. This blank and vacant day without a sound to guide the simple sorrow I have tried to hide. I linger lost upon the empty breeze, searching for something that will offer ease. I walk the contours of the fading year, holding the phantom of a single tear, a slow descent, profound and yet so mild. This unscripted moment leaves me bare, confronting all the questions hanging there. I watch the darkness start to softly creep, putting my fading sentiment to sleep. Breath is shallow, caught within my throat, a distant, sad and unexpected note. Tension holds my body in its grip, afraid to let a single feeling slip. I try to focus on the rising air, ignoring all the burdens of despair. Just breathe the quiet in, release the heavy load, the longest journey down the lonely road. I open my senses to the simple, simple sound. Nothing but silence can be ever found. The air is thin and colder than before, wishing for something I could treasure more. I look outside but cannot see the light. Everything is lost within the endless night. focus on the fading sound, the empty quiet that is all around. Just breathe the stillness in, embracing every ache. The only comfort I am left to take. I close my vision to the sharpest edge, standing upon a lonely crumbling ledge. The simple action is the hardest fight, stepping away from shadows of the night, a slow surrender to the final peace. Just breathe the sorrow in and feel the cold release, a moment where the deepest anguish cease. I let the darkness gently take its hold, a story that remains forever untold. The day's sharp edges finally blur, a quiet echo where the motion were. I kick off the shoes, nowhere to be found, nothing but stillness left to hide. My mind drifts back to things I meant to share, just floating particles in the cold air. This empty space becomes a place to rest, the lonely haven passing every test. I welcome solitude, a silent steady friend, waiting for the long cold night to end. Watch the curtain sway without a sound. No other presence can be quickly found. A simple ache residing in my chest, putting the memory gently to the test. This gentle pause, I feel it settling low, observing how the final moments flow. This silent dwelling is my resting ground, where faded hopes cannot be quickly found. I've learned to value this soft, quiet space, seeing just my reflection on the glass surface. Every distant voice is muted now, the promise of release, a simple vow. I embrace the stillness, deep and true. This is my anchor when the world feels vast, the fragile promise that is built to last. No more reaching, no need to cry, just me beneath the lonely fading sky. Photograph is fading to a gray, watching the precious image waste away. The subtle texture of the paper worn, the gentle scent of autumn on the breeze recalls the laughter hidden in the trees. I press my palm against the cool window pane, remembering the simple, quiet rain. I sense the absence pressing on my chest, putting the quiet agony to the test. This silent memory plays on repeat, a bitter comfort that I cannot be. I try to break the circuit with a sigh, watching the perfect moment slowly die. A small devotion to the things that die, a gentle sorrow that I cannot hide, a final glance at moments that were gone. This lonely memory plays on and on until the fading of the final dawn. I close my eyes and let the image burn, a simple lesson that I had to learn. The wipers sweep the water from the screen, a solitary and a fragile scene. The asphalt gleams beneath the lamp's pale wash, here in the quiet, empty, sudden smash. I search the windows for a single face, finding the loneliness within the space. Just headlights on the rain, a lonely endless street, the only comfort left inside the dream. I follow shadows down the wet dark road, carrying the final heavy load. The city's pulse is distant, low and vast, living entirely within the vacant past. The radio is playing static sound, no single signal can be quickly found. I feel the weight of silence in the car, remembering the places that we are. These headlights on the water, a solitary view, a painful knowledge that is strictly true. I navigate the turns beneath the mist, the final promise that I have missed. The slow decay of everything I knew, the final sorrow I am facing through, a quiet journey, dark and truly still. These lonely headlights cut through the gray, wishing for the ending of this somber day. I park the vehicle, turn the motor off, let in the silent sadness softly scoff. The world outside is constantly unkind, leaving my thoughts scattered and unaligned. I seek the shelter of my humble walls, ignoring every distant urgent calls. I measure comfort in the smallest scale, a fragile promise that is sure to fail. Just small doses of peace, a momentary lull before the world becomes completely dull. I try to gather fragments of the light, holding them close throughout the endless night. Picture resting on the shelf, reflecting sadly on my former self. I turn the photograph to face the wall, wishing that I could simply forget all. I feel the emptiness beneath the floor, a quiet knocking at my silent door. These lonely doses of simple, quick reprieve, a single comfort that I can believe. I try to capture moments of the sun before the long, hard journey is begun. The weight of sadness pulling at my soul, fighting against surrender for control. A final effort, fragile and so slight. These small doses of solace are my key, the only refuge left for lonely me. I found the silence I was looking for, hoping for something I could just adore. I stretch my fingers, touching empty space, a lonely ache I cannot quite erase. The morning light is hesitant and gray, wishing the heavy moment would just stay. I watch the patterns on the simple ceiling, a single quiet, solitary feeling. Waking up slow, a burden I must face, no friendly presence in this empty space. I pull the cover closer to my head, wishing I never had to leave the bed. The room is colder than it was before, remembering things I cannot anymore. I lift my body heavy with the dread, leaving the single warmth I have instead. I feel the silence pressing on my sight, escaping the clamor of the morning light. This waking up slow, an isolated plight, a gentle surrender to the coming light. I try to find a reason to begin, letting the simple lonely day creep in. slow acceptance of the simple plight. Waking up slow is all that's left for me, the only form of quiet liberty. I stand and face the cold and quiet room, embracing the presence of the silent gloom. The present moment feels so cold and vast, remembering the moments that have passed. I search the ceiling for a single crack, wishing that I could easily go back. I try to focus on the distant day, ignoring all the questions hanging there. Maybe tomorrow will be fine, a thought so light and frail, a quiet promise that is sure to fail. I try to hold the hope within my hand, the only feeling I can understand. Shadows lengthen slowly on the floor, wishing for something I could treasure more. I hug the pillow worn and smelling old, a lonely story that remains untold. I feel the future stretching wide and grim, the single hope that shines beyond. This simple wish that things will be alright, a tiny beacon in the endless night. I try to close my eyes and simply rest, putting the constant sorrow to the test. I feel the weight of silence in the glass, watching the lonely minutes softly pass, a slow surrender to the final sleep. Maybe tomorrow will be fine, the last and quiet plea, the final comfort left for lonely me. I close the curtains, shut the world outside,